Scotland is saying enough is enough. While the UK government is tightening immigration rules and making things more difficult, Scotland is fighting for its own part and asking for more people to be allowed to move to Scotland, live, work, even with their families. They're even proposing a new Scottish visa. So what does this mean for migrants, skilled workers, students, those that really want to move to the UK or those already in the UK? Let's find out the details and more and what this means for immigrants and migration moving forward. So please stick with me while we go straight into the details. My name is Tochi. You're welcome to my channel. Please like this video, give it a thumbs up as you're watching so YouTube can recommend it to more people. Kindly share it to everyone that benefits from me. To all my returning subscribers, you guys are amazing. You're welcome back to this video. If you're yet to subscribe, please click on the subscribe button right now because I share amazing content that you would definitely love. So before I continue, I'd love to introduce you all to the sponsors of today's video, LemFi. LemFi is a reliable app that allows residents of UK, Canada, US, and Europe to send money to Africa at zero fees. There are no transfer fees at all, and they have one of the best rates you can find in the market, so you always get your complete value for money. I've been using LemFi for so many years now, and I can guarantee you that it's fast, it's easy to use, it's reliable, and it's secure. Okay, to get started, you can use my referral link in the description box or download this directly from the Apple App Store or Google Play Store and enter my code Tochi. You get £10 cash back on your first transactions above £50. Okay, please continue using LemFi if you've downloaded it already, and if you haven't, do well to use my code Tochi. Don't forget that. I'm sure that by now you all must have heard about and read through the immigration white paper and even seen the follow-up rules that the government released that took effect on the 22nd of July 2025. But the Scottish government is not having it, okay? They are saying this is unfair to Scotland. So they are asking that government should please, in everything they are doing, everything they are saying, they should basically consider Scotland because they are likely to get depopulated. Scotland depends on migrants. Scotland needs people. And with all these things the government is saying, Scotland will be affected the most. So they're saying, please consider us in Scotland. Migration should basically be made to encourage more people, more migrants to come and live in Scotland and not to chase them away. Because basically all these rules the government has put out is applied generally everywhere. Wales, Scotland, England, Northern Ireland. But Scotland specifically wants for the government to consider. We're going to even go into all the things they're asking the government as we go into the video. They're saying, UK government, please bring people to come into the UK. The migration policy should be able to encourage people and not to chase them away by putting all the barriers and regulations, making everything stricter and all of that. So allow people who are going to be living here to move with their family. So the issue of stopping dependents, do not apply it to Scotland. If you want to do that, leave it in England, please. Let it not come to Scotland. We want people to be able to come to Scotland and live with their families. So Scotland is admitting that the fees, everything is really high and the government should cut it down. The major focus should not be on the fees, the money any migrant is bringing, but on what they can contribute, their skills, their qualifications, their talent, what they are bringing to the table, and not to focus on the money. Because literally, the government increases fees that migrants pay almost every year. If you applied for ILR last year, the figure you paid, the amount you paid is different from what people are paying this year. So it just keeps increasing. IHS fees, everything, visa fees, everything keeps going up. So Scotland is asking for government to consider this. So they also talked about net migration, saying that yes, they understand that the government has talked about reducing net migration and everything, but that the focus should not be on whether the numbers are going up or down, but rather the focus should be on the economy, right? The economy, public services, communities, and then consider how migration can support those needs. They also talk about the link between work and skills, and that when government is making these policies, they should know that Migration policies might differ based on needs, on geography, and all of that. Basically saying that Scotland needs people. And of course, England is more populated. And obviously know that once you hear about relocating to the UK or migration or living in the UK generally, what comes to mind, right, in the first place is England, London, Manchester. That's what you hear. You hardly hear about Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, and it's the truth. So majority of the numbers of people coming into the UK focus on this part of UK, that is England. So Scotland says they are suffering it and that these rules should not be applied generally to them. The birth rates in Scotland have reduced, even the aged population, that's basically Scotland is going to suffer all of these things, right? If they don't have people moving into Scotland. They're also saying that migration should be fair as well. Talked about community cohesion, that it is important that migration policies encourages and enables long-term settlement in Scotland. They should create rules that welcomes people to Scotland and not to chase them away. It's quite a long read. You have to take your time and go through it so that you understand everything. But for the purpose of this video, obviously, we have to summarize it, right? In the immigration and visa fees, they are saying that the Home Office should lower visa and immigration fees to a fair level, ensuring they do not act as a barrier to recruitment. The IHS should be scrapped to prevent double payment for healthcare services. So they are asking for IHS to be scrapped, okay? Because basically, it just feels like migrants are paying twice for healthcare services. Imagine paying IHS fees and still paying your tax when your tax is supposed to be used to cover for your healthcare. So paying IHS and still paying your tax means paying twice for healthcare, paying twice for the same service. So Scotland is asking for it to be scrapped for people in Scotland. So they're basically saying those in England, you can do whatever you want to do with them. We don't care. We don't mind. But you see, Scotland, we want people to come, and we're proposing that for this to happen, because we need them, and for this to happen, reduce visa fees, scrap IHS fees, and many more that we're going to be seeing here. And then for the health and social care workforce, right, the Home Office should restore dependent visa for care workers in Scotland to improve recruitment and retention. Right? So, you know that the government, UK government said no more dependent for care workers, right? But Scottish government is asking that they restore dependent visa to Scotland. So if you're going to be working in Scotland as a carer, you'll be able to bring your dependents. So, but the problem now is, are they going to now set up a new whole border to demarcate, to distinguish between Scotland and England? Because if you're already in England and you're now here that, oh, in Scotland, you can now bring dependents as a care worker. Do you now carry your bag from England immediately and go to Scotland? Or can you just apply directly to Scotland from outside the UK and all of that? So how do they intend to achieve this? And it also means that there's going to be an influx of people in Scotland as well, right? Imagine saying in England, you can't apply with your dependents on a care worker visa, but in Scotland, you can do that. What do you think? People that are family oriented, people that want to live and work with their families, everybody will now be moving to Scotland. Can they handle it? Anyway, moving on, the Department of Health and Social Care should ensure IHS reimbursement covers all frontline health and care workers regardless of registration status. And then for international students as well, international student numbers, the UK government should consider the ban on dependents for most international students studying in Scotland. So not only should you reinstate care workers dependents, they should also reconsider the ban on international student dependents, because right now international students are not allowed to move to the UK with dependents, but Scottish government is asking that they should reconsider that and maybe allow international students in Scotland to be able to bring dependents. Again, how do they intend to manage that? I want to hear what you guys think about this in the comment section. Now, for international graduate retention, the post-study work visa, the graduate route, and all of that, they're asking the UK government to enhance post-study work visas opportunity, such as the proposed Scottish graduate visa. So they're asking for specifically for Scottish graduate visa to better enable international graduates to stay and contribute to Scotland's workforce. So they are proposing for extra 2 years of Scottish graduate visa to enable people the time to be able to meet the salary threshold. They basically feel like if people have more time in the UK, they'll be able to settle properly, get a good job, meet the salary threshold, and decide to stay back in Scotland, okay? So everything they're just asking is for government to see that people are really wanted in Scotland, okay? So they're also proposing, amongst other things, Scottish graduate visa of 2 years. Right? So the UK government should also reinstate universities as endorsing bodies for the innovator founder visa to support high growth startups. There's also a proposal on the youth mobility, and they're also asking the Home Office to share data with Scotland so that they will have a better understanding of immigration policies and everything. So this would, basically help them understand immigration better, the number of visas applied for Scotland, how many people are applying for extension, how many migrants are in Scotland, and all of that. Okay, so will the government even listen to this? They're even asking for Scottish visas, Scottish graduate visas, and everything. Will this even come to pass? Let's see how that goes and what happens in the coming weeks, coming months, coming years. Let's see how everything turns out. Obviously, they want more people in Scotland, so they're asking for things to be lower a bit for Scotland so that businesses and companies can easily employ international workers. They're also asking for Scottish visa, right? That this visa would present an additional option for people who want to live, work, and eventually settle in Scotland. The Scottish visa would be an additional route within the UK immigration system, and the Scottish government will work in partnership with the UK government to deliver these visa routes. So they're just proposing ways that the government can consider this, right? So, still talking about the Scottish visa, look at what they are proposing that the requirements can be, you have to be resident in Scotland, the visa sponsorship, there would be no salary threshold associated with the visa route and everything, the length of stay and permanent settlement. The Scottish government wants to ensure that there will be a pathway from the Scottish visa to indefinite leave to remain. So it is currently intended that someone holding a Scottish visa would make an application for IRL to the UK government. Right? So government is just asking for an opportunity to better control the distribution of migrant workers upon arrival in the UK with visa conditions, just to distribute equally. If for anything, England obviously has more people, so Scotland is saying that it's unequal. Less people coming to Scotland, and that's not good. Also proposing for the rural visa pilots. You can read more on it. These are just proposals, so you can read more on that. Basically, for more people, any visa that would help or enable more people to be attracted to Scotland, the rural areas of Scotland and all of that. They talked more on the graduate visa that we saw earlier, what the cost will be, how somebody can apply, the eligibility criteria, the duration and everything. So basically, after your study visa, you get your graduate visa, and then you get the Scottish graduate visa. They even intend to achieve all this, I don't know. So you finish your study, then get graduate visa for 2 years, and now get Scottish visa for 2 years. That's like 6 years already on a study visa. You're not yet on a work visa. This one, I don't even understand what this proposal means, but yeah. So they also want exemptions on the family visa requirement, and then Scottish exemption to the skilled worker visa salary threshold, right? So that is basically it for this video. I just thought to share. You guys know that I always keep you guys updated to know what's going on. Trust me, if any of this if any of this proposal even passes, like you're going to see the number of people that be moving into Scotland, because who doesn't like good things, right? So I wish Scotland people all the best, and I hope that the UK government considers their proposal. Listen, whatever happens generally with UK immigration in the coming weeks and months, years, wherever, you guys trust me, I'll definitely let you guys know. Okay, so thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.